Hello and welcome to Bakerstreet.coasters, where today I'm going to be speaking about a particular roller coaster at the Drayton Manor Resort under the name of the Wave, or Shockwave as most people know it. If you haven't seen the rebranding of it, then I will explore more into that later on. Anyways, please remember to subscribe. It'll be very, very beneficial trying to reach that 500 mark. Okay, so the Wave at Drayton Manor is it's an Intamin stand, or used to be an Intamin stand-up coaster, where basically you used to stand up in this roller coaster, and it used to take you on inversions. It took you on 3 inversions, and it had 4 features, such as the chain lift, it has the loop, has the corkscrew. I think it's a corkscrew. Got a 0G roll, and then you have the corkscrew. So you've got 4 inversions, but 5 features on it. Now, what I really like about this ride, is the theming of the queue first. So as you go around the theme of the queue, there are different elements of it. So you go up the stairs, and on your sides and the different sides you have the posters going ride the wave, time to take on the wave and stuff like that. Now I kind of like this beneficial aspect to the ride and the whole theming, because it really does add to what you're about to go and what you're theming up to about to go into this ride. Now the Wave at Drayton Manor really does pack a punch into a family roller coaster. Now, another thing which I really like about this whole roller coaster is the layout on the outside, because you've got this yellow border, and I really like this layout. I know they didn't have this layout before; it was literally just a sign change, Shockwave, but they've literally made the whole facade amazing and colourful. It really does link in well with the river rapids they had there, even though I'm not very focused on the river rapids here, but it really does link in well to that. Now, if G-Force was there, a old roller coaster which used to be located near the site of Shockwave, used to come out and used to see it go past. I think it had interactions with the Wave or Shockwave. Then that would look really, really cool. You've got blue, red track, and then you've got this really colourful river rapids, which looks really cool. But no, we don't have this coaster anymore, which I think is really, really unfortunate. So it's just like Now, here is some really good photos of the Wave. So that was our marketing for this year, because it did get put down for sit down seats. However, all the other years it's been stand up. You go. I think this is it. No, this is in 2003. So this was when it was stand up. Now it had some really, really nice orange. Had just some really, really dark orange kind of cars. Now they have like really bright orange or bright yellow cars. Now I've never ridden it when it was standing up, so I can't say much about that element. However, I can say how much I love the new one. I'm not even joking. Like, you get down the first, and what I really like about the drop down into the chain lift is that it gives it some speed. So you've got also that aspect of speed at the start. So you exit the station. Now I like the lap bar restraints in it. You don't have the overhead shoulder restraints. I mean, you think going on that ride, I don't think it would be very beneficial if it's overhead, and it would definitely not be for 1.3, or is it like you've got to be at least 1.4, something like that to ride. So yeah, the height restriction I think is 1.3, and that is because you've got a lap bar restraint. Now something like Hyperia at Thorpe Park, something like Intamin's roller coaster 13, Spimble Wizard at Alton Towers, I think Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach also has this overlap restraint. So pretty sure I gave enough examples there to know what I'm on about. But having this lap restraint is very, very cool. Firstly, it's very comfortable sitting. The guys say if you can read the label, which is in front of you, which is on the thing, then you're not strapped in properly, which I think is really, really cool. Because if you can read the label, you're not strapped in. But if you can't read the label when you are strapped in properly, you don't have to hold on if you want to, even though they do advise you to hold on. And I just love the whole load on and load out. They don't rush you, not like Hyperia at Thorpe Park. But again, it's not a very high up maintenance ride. Yeah, it's quite high up in maintenance, but it's got a low throughput, especially on the day we went. But it's a really, really good Intamin roller coaster. Now, the first thing is you exit the station. You've got no lighting effects. There's no big effects in the station when you leave nor you enter. And then you go down this little drop, to then go up to the chain lift. Now, this chain lift's kind of it gives some really good scenery on the ride. Now, I couldn't give you on the ride POV because you're not allowed to do that. But yeah, it really gives you some good theming and scenery around the area. It overlooks Drayton Manor, also overlooks on your right. It also overlooks the outside the park, the car park. So it's really, really good with that element. Then you go up the chain lift, you go doo, 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 and then you reach the top of the chain lift. Now the height of this ride is 120 feet, so that's a really approximate thing, and it goes at a speed of 53 miles per hour. Now the G-forces on it is full. Not a fan of the new trains, honestly. Rather, this is what Fairground 7 DeLorean says. Not a fan of the new trains, honestly. Rather ride the new Gold Rush than what they did to my Shockwave. I'll get onto that in a minute, but yeah. So having that height of 120 feet in the air, you can overlook the park, you can overlook the car park, and further past that, which is really, really good. It has to keep in tree height limit, I think. Then you ascend that, well, you descend down your first inversion, well, it's like a drop down thing. Now, I'm pretty sure, well, yes, I do have a picture. Oh, there you go. So that's what you descend down first. Now, you do a little turn here to then pick up enough speed to go to this loop here. Now, this is the only loop in the Drayton Manor Park, and it's like one of the loops out of barely any roller coaster which has a whole loop-de-loop in the UK. And then you ascend your barrel roll, I think it is. Is that a barrel roll? Does it say? No, you ascend your 0G roll, which is basically a zero gravitational roll. And then you do your double corkscrew. Now, this is for one double corkscrew, and then that's the first double corkscrew. And then yeah, that's the first double corkscrew, and then you've got another one behind the trees. Now, I really, really like the whole ride. Really, really rippy. Doesn't have too much of a rattle. I mean, I did notice some sort of rattle, but I kind of like the whole smoothness of the ride. I love how it's high G-force at some parts, and it's really rippy around the turns and the inversions. Like literally, it's just a good family coaster. Which really, it's not a family coaster though. Even though it's aimed to be, but I mean it's older family coaster, which I think is really, really good, and it's a must-do ride. I can't say Drayton Manor really do pack a punch with this ride. Now, I was going on about how we have theming here. Now, this here used to be the old theming of this ride. Now, I love how the track is like over here, and then you've got this dangling down. I think this is dangling down from the track. I'm not quite sure, but this here, you got Shockwave. Now, I found the like blue facade really, really dull, dark. It just really didn't work. It was fading a bit. And now we've got this really bright and colourful entrance next to the sign, which I think is really, really good. And I like how they've really painted up the whole exterior of this ride. But yeah, again, like I said earlier, the ride is really, really rippy, really good. Has some good G-force, has some good speed. It reaches a top speed of 53 miles per hour, which is very approximate, and has a track length of 1,640 feet. Now, with it having a track length of 1,640 feet, we could have seen it have a little bit more, like, when they had G-force removed. When they had G-force removed from Drayton Manor, it would be pretty cool to see them, instead of just putting down, let's put a seat rides, like ride seats, which are like you sit down seats, let's also extend the track. That would be pretty cool to see, because we know we've seen it possible before, because they did it with G-force. It'd be really cool to see them fill up that area, but they can't do that anymore because they've put in the wave stuff there. You've got Wave Springer in that area now. I'm not quite sure what else you have there. I think you have Air Race there, and I think that's the old station of G-force. But like I said, it would have been really cool to see an extension to this roller coaster, but it's really cool to see that they've used the space of the old G-force to add to this area, but it also increases the ride throughput and the whole capacity of the park itself. So, the wave. Now, my honest opinion, like I've just said, it's very smooth, very whippy. It's got a little bit of a jolt to it, but I noticed it during the back, a little bit further back. I rode it 3 times, so I can kind of give my full reviews on this now, because it's not like I've rode a coaster once. It's not good. Now, where it has the 0G roll, and where it has the sit down ride cars. I kind of like that element. I kind of like the trains. Like they're really quite bright yellow, which I think is really really good. You have this sort of thing here, which yes, yes. So we'll lock the side door. It's really really bright yellow thing. Now I'm like theme park DeLorean or Fairground 7 DeLorean said. I don't like the colour scheme of this either, to be fair, because if dirt gets on this, it very much shows through. If it becomes very rusty, it will show very much through. And I don't like how they've made the yellow wheels yellow either. Like, if you look at something like the Smiler has a sort of yellow and black facade on its cars. Now, we've also seen that very much fade away in the current years. And it's just not looking the part anymore. So having the wave and having it such bright yellow, it won't stay like that because the dye will just, disintegrate from the sun. Which I think is really, really cool. But I also like how it's very well themed into the area around, because not just the ride cars are painted that colour, but the area and the whole facade, the whole station facade is very, very well. It's very much coloured in yellow. Fairground 7 DeLorean says, I think the main thing is the park has pivoted massively to family only now, so the wave kind of don't fit into that park anymore. So this is the only thing they could have done that will knock it down. You've got a point there. That's another thing I was going to make. So with this ride being a thrill family ride, they very much advertise people being here, like children being here on this ride. Now, you would barely find any children of the age of what they are on this ride, presuming the height restrictions. And as you see, that's just content art, so that's something which I don't like, so kind of push towards family friendly only, and that's why we've sat them down. But we've gone from the likes of Apocalypse, we've gone from the likes of the wave, Shockwave becoming the wave. We've gone from the likes of having a really good Rapid ride to it really becoming dull. We've had so much stuff in the past year, and we've had this like arm thing. I thought that was, even the haunting is really dull, but I'll give a different review on that later. They have very much focused on the family only park, and I don't think that's very good. It's not for us anymore, and it's just like something you go there just for the little kids, and I'm there just like, where's the thrill aspect? Why have a good coaster and like dim it down quite a lot, especially taking away the elements of it being not up to standing up anymore. I get it's more accessible for everyone, but yet again, there weren't many people who were complaining about this ride. Drayton is defo not a thrill park anymore. I agree. Drayton Manor is just nowhere near a thrill park. Like, you've gone from Alton Towers, you have Chessington, and even Chessington's a thrill park. Like, Chessington's more of a thrill park than Drayton Manor, and I find that really shocking, especially the amount of stuff that Chessington has and Drayton Manor has. Drayton Manor has so much more there, and I'd say Legoland is more of a thrill park than Drayton Manor itself. And like I said, I find that really, really shocking, because there's so much more Drayton Manor could have added, but instead they added something that's family-only content. Like, I didn't get much thrill out of half the rides. Like, if you're a G-Force there, then fine with me, you have a mix of everyone, and you're very much close to Alton Towers as well. So they've kind of dimmed down their standards in the years, which I think is really, really horrible as well. Because, like, with the likes of the wave, like Fairground 7 DeLorean just said, that is literally the last thrill ride, and it's not even a thrill ride anymore. Like, it was better when it was standing up, but because it's not standing up, I'm there just like, is this really good? Is this really bad? I'm not quite sure. Maybe they seen the money Thomas Land was putting in compared to the rest of the park, and just wanted to make the entire park to the level of family friendliness. Now, yes, this is another thing I was about to say. Sorry, yes, that's true. When you look at Thomas Land, so when I went on the day that I did, which was like last Sunday, I think it was, or something like last Sunday, I went to Drayton Manor, and I literally found most of the rides, even Accelerator was walk on. Now, back in 2011 or 2012, something like that, Ben 10 Ultimate Mission, which was Accelerator now, was never walk on. I'm telling you that for a fact. That ride queue was so out of the building. Now it's walk on in the summer holidays. Pretty concerned now. However, most of Thomasland rides were quite not walk on. And I find this really, really concerning. Does that mean the park's not pulling in a lot of people? Does it mean that the thrill aspect has completely been wiped away from this park? Are they in trouble? With the likes of Gold Rush opening this year, it will mostly boost up the capacity. But yet again, it's still a bit concerning how half those rides would walk on. Literally, I didn't have to wait more than 10 minutes for the wave that day, and I rode it like 3 times. I rode every single ride in the park, even the train ride, and still had time to do redos. Like, I went on the accelerator twice, the wave 3 times. I did the train once. I did so many more rides, and I even went on Shell's Showdown twice. That's how low the queue lines were that day, which I think is really, really concerning. So, the whole park itself is one of those things. You got Land of the Vikings. Now, the ride staff who was there, I was wearing this top. The ride staff who was there really liked my top. But then he also said that other, like, Zamperla discos, because something named 4-4 is a Zamperla disco. I will do something, I will bring up something. But the ride staff said to me that 4 was probably the best and the most intense Zamperla disco out there, in the likes of Cobra at Chessington World Adventures. You have Mia's Riding Adventure, was at Autumn's Riding Adventure at Legoland. You've got a different one at Portons Park. I've forgot the name of that one. But yes, this is a Zamperla. This is a Zamperla spinning disc. What did I just call it? I totally forgot. Oh well. But yeah, a Zamperla disco song. Yeah, that is a Zamperla disco. That's got an airtime hill. Now, ones like that, like I just said, is Cobra and another one at Gulliver's. I know Gulliver's have one. Gulliver's Wallington, they used to have one. I don't know if they still do. It's quite a small one as well. But that one's got to be the most intense one. Now, when they did advertise that whole area, I yet again found that really cool in the fact that we've got a Loki and we've got a Zamperla Nebulous there. We also have the Buffalo Ride, which is now Jormungandra. I don't know what Jormungandra is, but we roll with it. And having that area themed up was very beneficial for the park. It was top priority, to be fair, because you looked at it past then, and then you look at it now, it's so much better, and you've got more ride capacity there. Because all you had in that area was the Buffalo, and I'm there just like, really? But now you've got Zamperla Nebulas, you've got Zamperla Disco, you've got 4 and Loki, which I think is really good, and then we got that re-theming of Jormungandra. Now you've also got another themed area, which is Frontier Falls. Now, Frontier Falls, I find this area really cool. However, there is something I can question. The only ride that isn't listed and is behind the barrier in which way it says Frontier Falls is Accelerator. Now, I find this really, really strange because Accelerator hasn't changed since Ben 10 at all. Not even joking. You can see Ben 10. I've pointed out and I've posted it on my story and I've posted it everywhere. You can see Ben 10 theming in the queue line. It just shows how much they just don't put effort into their rides. The money seems to come on more newer rides than it is older rides. But that's for a different video. But Accelerator is a very hit and miss with Frontier Falls. But I think that's for a different video. I've got to go into that. But yeah, Thomasland is the most busiest business area in that whole park. Not even joking. Oh, and Wave Swinger. You've got Maelstrom in where Maelstrom really does add up to the thrill aspect as well. Even though thrill aspect, Maelstrom doesn't give off that much thrill. Like G-Forces on there is awful. Oh, and talking about the River Rapids, the staff member. Well, I asked the staff member what River Rapids rides have you been on, and he went Alton Towers. He's gone to one at Portons Park, I think that's one at Portons Park. He said something like that, and I asked him if this is the better Rapids ride, and the ride staff were literally slacking that ride off. The ride staff were like, this ride's absolute rubbish, like literally. And I'm like, if the ride staff's saying this, then there's clearly something not right with the park and the staff, because the staff aren't clearly enjoying their time here at Drayton Manor, which I think is really, really concerning. So, you know, that's for a different video too, because I remember that ride, past and present, and it's a lot more themed up. Anyways, I'm going to go now. I think I spoke too much now. Smile always. Please remember to subscribe and tell me what you guys think of Drayton Manor all the way individually. You know, just tell me individually. And yeah, bye guys.